do you feel like you're just a criminal that had a better lawyer?
Oh, I never thought about it like that. That was the best thing I could have ever done, was to cut ties with family that does not serve my purpose. And I feel so light because of it. What you see is what you get with me. I always look like this. I am always like this. So my avatar doesn't clash with who I am.
Mel, how's your heart?
How's my heart?
Yeah.
My heart is full. Sometimes, I go through stuff as a businesswoman, but my heart is generally full. I really enjoy my life. I enjoy what we're doing right now. We've introduced Tammy Partners, where we now supply nail products, the best nail products, to all the nail technicians in South Africa. Imagine. Where in the past it was franchising, it was limited to just franchisees, and nail techs kind of felt left out.
Sure.
So now they have access.
So it's a question we love on this show, the one about your heart, because I just want to go into right now, in the present tense. How's Mel feeling? Like, did she wake up today feeling like the world is my oyster, or she's being ordinary and she's having a bad day?
So I never wake up feeling like the world is my oyster. I usually go to bed feeling like the world is my oyster. I feel like I'm a night owl. In the mornings, I just want to wake up and kind of think about what I need to do for the day. But in the mornings, generally, I don't wake up as positive as people would think I do. So I have to talk to myself in the morning and tell myself, Mel, today you need to do something. You need to do this. You need to go speak to your nail techs. You need to launch this product. You need to make this video for the nail techs. So I have to psych myself up from scratch every morning. Remember, based on science, we wake up negative.
Wow.
That is science. So you have to build yourself up during the day to get things done. And that's pure science.
Do you relate to that waking up negative? Do you feel like it takes work to get to a psyche of the positivity, of manifesting the good?
Here's the thing. You have to wake up and psych yourself up, because no one is going to do it for you. You have to lay in bed and think, you know what? This is my day. Let's do something small today, because small little efforts every day will build up to something big. And in 10 years' time, you wake up, you're wealthy and famous, and you don't know, how did I get this famous and rich overnight? It's all the small efforts every day. But to give people, that certainty that nobody wakes up psyched up. Nobody. We have to wake up and tell ourselves, listen, Mel, or whoever, let's do this thing. Let's go and just be a worker amongst workers. You don't have to be the Mel Viljoen to accomplish great things. I was nobody some few years ago. And I took my disappointments, being on carte blanche, being on checkpoint, and I used that to become famous, to build a platform so that I can now cater to nail techs. Because every nail tech that I work with wants to cry when I call them. They're like, oh my gosh, I am talking to the Mel. And if you think about how did we get to the Mel, was through hardship, tears, disappointment, people shaming you online, people shaming you on the news. So you can use all that disappointment and say, listen, let me do something with it.
Absolutely. It's 2025 now when we're having this conversation. And as you say, there's hardship that you turned into hard work. There is disappointment. There is bad news. People speak about you that you turned around for the better. Take me back 15 years ago, because I want to understand the start of the journey. Who is Mel in 2010, 15 years ago? Where is she, and what does her life look like?
I was very lucky that when I wouldn't, maybe it's not luck, maybe it's you pushing, But 15 years ago, I started out in the trucking industry.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I was 21, I wanted to be a sales rep in an industry, any industry that you can grow. So I decided to become a partner in the bull bar and trucking manufacturing industry. And I took over South Africa. It was a great product that I sold to transporters. And I just had to put in the work as well. I had to drive to each and every dealership, introduce myself, explain the product. And most of the time they didn't buy. But 5 years later, everyone knew about the brand and everyone started buying. You see, 5 years can do so much. 15 years. People overestimate what they can do in one day and they underestimate what they can do over 15 years.
I hear you. What makes you resilient, though, in 5 years when you keep on trying and there is rejection and there is disappointment and there's people saying no to your product? What keeps you going? Where's your corner where you go and cry? Do you have a corner where you can go and cry?
A lot of the time people say, you'll find it all over YouTube. Surround yourself with amazing people. Put yes people in your corner. I'm sorry, but I haven't met those people yet. Just my husband. You have to be that yes girl. So I think resilience is built over time. What I've realized was what I've realized is for one person that says no, there are silently 5 people that says yes. You just don't know about them. You must give those people that are yes people out there an opportunity to support you. So what I've learned from, let's say, the Kardashians, they just keep trying. They do different things. And let's say I didn't support Khloe Kardashian for her good American brand. I love the Skims brand.
I get you.
But Kim gave me the opportunity to support her. But I would not have supported maybe the beauty brand or the makeup brand because I like Estee Lauder, for example. But she gave the world the opportunity to support her. So you just have to keep trying. Do different things. Fail, it's fine. Because the law of averages, if you go into any business, 20% of your clients will say yes and maybe 2% will buy. That puts it into perspective how much effort you should put in. It's a numbers game. Talk to a lot of people, do a lot of things, and let that 2% come to you.
I'm speaking as the young girl in Naturena, in Montana, in the Val, and she's saying, but Mel, you're making it sound easy to just try and try and try. I don't have the resources to try. How does someone like me who doesn't have the financial muscle, the economic resources to keep trying? This one business idea that I have is my only way out of this poverty. Maybe, Mel, you're speaking from a place of privilege. Why? How do I keep trying?
I'm from a small town and I had zero resources. When I came to Pretoria, it was a mindset that I wanted more. And I knew I had to be in a bigger city with more people to accomplish more. And I started out doing very small things. I started selling Herbalife, for example, beauty products, Justine products. So if you don't have the resources, educate yourself. Online is free. If you go to Starbucks and you sit there, Wi-Fi is free. So you can go sit at Starbucks, use free internet, educate yourself on, if you go and learn sales techniques, the science of how people think, the science of selling, you will get a job. And you can use the job to create other jobs. You can start side hustles, anything. People might ask, what? For me, I loved the idea of nails. So I started doing one set with one bottle of liquid and one pot of powder that cost me maybe 100 rand. And I started doing nails. The nails was horrible, but the people saw in my eyes how passionate I was.
Sure.
And that made them blind to the ugly nails. They believed in the nails as much as I did because I said, this is the right nails. So your conviction when you talk to someone and when you sell something is the ultimate resource. You don't need money, but you can't sell something if you don't believe in it. That's the problem.
You know, right now in this lounge, I'm sitting across from Mel, to me, with a warm heart, who speaks so boldly and beautifully about her journey. I'm sitting across from Mel who remembers every beautiful step she's taken to be where she is. Why do you think then there is a Mel that people have built in their brain, in their hearts, perhaps maybe, that they believe is the opposite of that? Like, where does it come from that they believe that Mel isn't this person who has worked hard to be who she is?
You have to remember that we are cavemen and cavewomen. We are born 75% negative. People will see in you what they feel about themselves. When I look at people, I always see the best. I always get a lot of shit for it. But when I look at you, I'd be like, you know what, this guy is hardworking. He's good looking. He's doing the best that he can. I never see the bad in people.
Okay.
So if you see something negative in me, number one, you have bad information. You only see 2% of what Mel is.
I hear you.
I could be feisty. I could be evil. I could do many things. But what you see in me is what you see through your filters.
I hear you. I hear you. And do you think then that seeing good in people, giving people the benefit of the doubt, being so positive, sometimes comes to your detriment because they then betray you using the fact that you saw so much good in them?
Yeah. So seeing the best in people could be such a bad thing. You know, I have a lot of staff, right? And it's bad to think that everyone is loyal and everyone has your back. They really don't. They are in it for them. And so this is where leadership comes in, right? This is when you learn to become a leader. No one is a born leader besides Mel Viljoen. I don't think people are born leaders. You learn to lead, and you learn to see that people can't lead themselves. You have to tell them what to do. So in my recent experience, I had a staff member that would go to my partners and talk about me, and then come to me and talk about them. And eventually we started recording what she says. And we realized that this person just loved creating trouble between people. And I never expected that because I'm not like that.
Sure.
So, yeah, I'm going to continue to believe the best in people. But what my husband always say to me is, Mel, you must buy what people sell to you. And I've seen that evil part in that person.
Yeah.
But I chose to believe she will be better.
The good.
And he says to me, but what she sold to you was an evil person. Why did you buy it? And I'm like, wow, that's a good question. She's been advertising. Oh, he says, why you can only buy what she's advertising. And she's been advertising that she's an evil person. So I'm like, yeah, that is so true.
Yeah. And I wasn't reflecting on it. And
I wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What makes a good leader?
To this day, I don't think that anyone has the answer as to what makes a great leader, because that will mean... Can I have a tissue, please? Sorry. Take a quick break.
No problem.
Okay, what makes a good leader?
Yes.
I don't think anyone has the answer as to what makes a great leader, because it's something that you learn ongoing. What makes me a good leader or an average leader, whatever the people see out there, is that, you know, people cannot think for themselves most of the time. They don't know what to do. So you have to just show them how it's done and keep showing them how it's done. I think a good leader doesn't get tired. And I wouldn't say that I don't get tired and that I'm a good leader, because I need the leaders around me to lead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey family, thank you so much for being loyal to engineering your life. I know that if you're watching this, you're probably here for the second time or the third time. And please, if you're here for the second, third time, please may you kindly subscribe, because if you subscribe, it helps us to get better conversation, get better guests, and get access to creating the best content that we can for you. So please don't forget to subscribe and make sure you continue watching this episode.
Kholwa emandleni onawo.
Oh my, we're finally doing this. What does EYL Africa represent? It's about standing in your power. It's about, in isiZulu, it's Kholwa emandleni onawo, which is our tagline. You will see it on the back of my t-shirts. It's about believing in the power
that you have, believing in the power that your God, your guides have invested in you. Shop our socks, shop our t-shirt, and yeah, just keep believing in yourself. EYL Africa.
Now available on EYLshop.Africa.
There's also another version of Mel who we believe is feisty, and rightfully so. We need to stand up for ourselves in life, and people undermine the importance of standing up for yourself. But I do believe underneath that feistiness is a loving woman who loves her husband, who loves her family, those she considers family, those she treasures a lot, which I do believe there are probably people you treasure privately who mean a lot to you. What does love mean to you, Mel, to a person like you who's so well accomplished?
Well, love in which aspect of life? Family, spouse, children, those are all different types of love. I mean, loving a child, that's unconditional. They can do whatever and the parent will forgive them. Loving a spouse, I feel it's something that is also built over time, because you could be in love with someone in the beginning, but loving them is a choice.
A daily choice.
A daily choice.
Yeah, yeah.
But it goes both ways, right? If you don't give me reasons to love you, at some point I'm going to stop loving you. So what's great for me is that my husband is the same person that he was when we met. So he gives me so many reasons to love him every single day by standing up for me, by treating me like a queen. So, how can you not love someone if they love you that much?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember how you met?
Yeah, absolutely.
And take me through that day. I'm sure there's a specific thing that triggered you that, okay, he's the one. Or sometimes it takes longer and he put in the work.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Well, I think when I saw him the first time, I could see that he was the one. He works so hard. He loves the people around him. He takes care about the people around him. But what made me love him so much is the way that he loved me and took care of me.
Yeah.
And I took care of him.
Yeah.
So I think, when you start loving someone that randomly, I feel like it's meant to be. Because what is love, right?
I hear you, but I still want to know what happened on that day.
Oh, you want to know the story?
Yes.
Of how we
I'm
met?
curious. I'm nosy.
Oh, it's a deep story. I don't think our audience is ready.
Very ready.
On the day that we actually met a few times that I've known about Mel Viljoen for a while. And everyone told me he's this celebrity lawyer. He's this great guy. Everybody loves him. And it went in the one ear, out the other one, right? But when I met him the first time was through a mutual friend.
Okay.
Yeah. And we just started chatting. He was that guy that can talk about anything. And it went so smooth. And I think what he felt I didn't know that he was in love with me, because at the time he was going through a lot. But on that evening, he said to me, Mel, this is the night. And I was looking at him and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm in love with this guy also and I don't know what to do. So, it's not really deeper than that.
Butterflies in your stomach?
Oh my gosh, for days. Butterflies for days.
Yeah. You say he was going through a lot. Which season of your life were you in? Because to accept somebody whom is going through a lot, it's not an easy feat.
I feel like I'm attracted to people that go through a lot. I love fixing them up and, loving them. So he was going through a lot. So you can never say, okay, someone is going through a lot, so I'm not going to love them or don't. You can't choose that. When you fall in love with someone, you fall in love with all their mistakes, all their problems. And when you say yes, you make those problems your problems.
Yeah.
So that is the way I see it. On the day that I said yes, I said your problems is my problems. And my problems is your problems.
Yeah.
And together we solved it.
Do you believe that's why you guys have so much staying power? Because,
Probably.
geez, you guys have fought public battles
A lot.
with so much vigor.
Yeah.
Some things that would have broken people, because sometimes when you're
Yeah,
fighting things, the marriage breaks down subsequently.
True. Yeah, when you look at the real housewives across the world, the people are getting divorced left, right, and center.
Yes.
So you do need a strong relationship if you want to go public.
Do you think you know what makes your relationship strong?
Choosing each other every day and pushing through the bad times. For me in my life, I don't really see anything as a bad thing because my life is so full of joy and happiness, and Piet makes my life feel so easy. Does it make sense?
I hear you. I hear
Yeah,
you.
so maybe something is so bad in the media, but my man has it handled. So I don't see it.
There's something that I don't know if I've picked up or it's intentional, and you allow me to push you and you can push me back, right?
Okay.
You don't speak about your family, maternal family a lot. Your mom, dad. Is that intentional? Is it a part of your life that has a lot of pain in it? Is it a part of your life that you've had to heal from? And if you allow me to push you further, what is that you had to heal from?
Okay, no problem. So when anyone, all of us have a family, right? But it'll split up into two categories. Either you are on board with your family and you're the same kind of a person, or you are that sheep that is different than the other sheep. So I'm that sheep. From a young age, I was hoity-toity. I loved doing things. I loved creating things. I was into makeup before I could even write, beauty. So I was the odd one out in the family. So I always kept myself separate because their values and my values wasn't the same values. Not that it was bad. I was just the person that was extraordinary. You are born that way.
Yeah.
And so if someone did something average or something that I didn't agree with, I would step away from it. Hence, I moved out when I was very young.
How young?
16.
Yes, sis.
Yeah, 16 I moved out because I didn't agree with a stepdad being aggressive, for example.
Okay.
So I feel like that you kind of shape yourself from 14, 15. You start really, your eyes open. So Mel Viljoen chose to step away from her family because my values just felt different.
Do you believe your family owes you apologies that you've never gotten?
I don't have a big family. I don't have nieces and nephews that I know of. So, and even if I do meet one or two, it's always someone that I feel like I don't want to associate. So there are families like that out there that don't want to bond with their own family. So I never had a family.
I think that was important because somebody out there has a weird relationship with their family, and they feel like as if they're unworthy or they haven't forgiven themselves. They feel like they're not good enough because these picture perfect families are always presented as if every family that we come from, they're these big Christmases. But you're presenting to me a different scenario, an alternative way of living, of saying if your values don't align with people, even if they are family, you're allowed to remove yourself from that.
I feel like in life, people with issues in their family should not let that get them down. Pierre taught me to cut ties with family if they bring you down. And that was the best thing I could have ever done, was to cut ties with family that does not serve my purpose. And I feel so light because of it. I think a lot of the time also people wonder but what about the family and what about friends and what about support groups? I need a support group of one person to believe in me, one person to vouch for me, and that is my husband. And the day that he stops vouching for me, I will find another person that will vouch for me. Not a man, a friend, I mean. You need a crowd of one to believe in you. That's the ultimate secret.
Outside of Pete, because he's the man that you've chosen to submit to because of the amazing person he is to you.
Yeah.
Who do you pray to? Do you pray?
Do I pray? I'm a born Christian, but I do believe that everyone's religion is valid.
Okay.
I don't want to be that person that vouch for, you have to believe in the Christian Bible, because that would mean that I am disagreeing with someone else's religion.
Yeah,
that is valid.
Yeah.
All religions are valid.
Yeah.
No one has the right to say you have to be a Christian, or you online you can't be this person of you can't pray to the money gods or whatever. And I feel like that's very insulting.
Mm-hmm. I think this topic has been exhausted, and I want us to just move through it. Do you feel like, for the lack of a better word, everything that has rolled out publicly with your business, do you feel like you're just a criminal that had a better lawyer?
Oh, I never thought about it like that. So South African law, I study law now, by the way. South African law has a rule that says everyone and anyone
Is innocent.
is innocent.
Absolutely.
Until proven guilty.
Yeah.
So I've never been in court. I've never been accused, of anything but in public. So I've never gone through any criminal procedure of any sorts. So you can't say that maybe you're a criminal with a better lawyer. No, absolutely not. We do good business.
Yeah.
The news that you do see out there are people that are all in breach of their contracts.
I hear you.
There isn't one salon that I wasn't willing to build. If we have an agreement and you pay money to give you a salon, there's your salon. You cannot then 2 years later say, I want my money back, or someone took your money. So I feel like South African law still has a long way to go to kind of prove to the people in the public that what is being said is actually not true. And what I found with journalists is that they really don't care about the small details. They just want a great headline, they want to sell newspaper, and that's the end of it.
There are instances where perhaps people didn't read their contracts properly, as you're saying, the finer details, and then they run with the story that Mel Viljoen is the devil, is the criminal.
Yeah.
But on a more softer level, woman-to-woman basis, because most of your businesses are owned by women, were there not instances where you're like, I'm actually willing to compromise outside of what is in the contract as a woman who's in business and help you rebuild if you felt that things were unfair? Did you ever go through those instances?
I have gone through so many extra miles with all of these people. But like my coach Chris Boss says, is once someone has taken you hostage, you cannot negotiate with them. And all of these people, they want to take you hostage.
True.
And they are not open to negotiation. And that's the point where you step away. I mean, I've done so many extra things, for the women, the people, getting them the best location, building their salons, giving them the best nail products. I mean, I travel the world sourcing the best nail products for them.
Yeah.
So I feel like the mentality of, give my money back is so wrong in every way, because that person is definitely 100% in breach of their contract.
Do you feel they use the media as a tool, as you're saying, to blow things out of proportion?
So I think people that feel stuck, when you get stuck, you get stupid, right? Yeah, that's true. So they do weird things. So the reason why people that want their money back go through media channels is because they know they have no legal foot to stand on.
I hear you.
I don't have a full-time lawyer next to me. Piet does not practice law at the moment, but he will be in a few months. I would say then I have the best lawyer, right? Yeah, so what was the question?
Do you feel they're using the media
I wanted to
as
say,
a tool?
Yeah. The women that use the media as a tool, it's an intimidation tactic.
Okay.
It's for me to move. And what people don't know is I am immovable. If I have a contract with you, my word is my honor.
Yeah.
And I will stick with the contract.
Yeah.
And I've always done that.
Why go to housewives? Because it only amplifies the bad press. I know you probably wanted to clear your name, which you have a right to do so, to a certain extent. It was very evident in the last Housewives franchise you were part of that you were very intentional about representing the Mel who she is to the audience, right? But in retrospect, would you do Housewives again? And do you think, maybe I shouldn't have?
you should never be shy of your personality, who you are, and you should live your life as if you are a real housewife. Each and every one of us. We should never have something to hide. So your life should be an open book, like my life. I've opened my life to the people for them to show Mel is an open book.
Yeah.
Mel is not running away.
Yeah.
I am here to stay.
I get that.
Yeah.
And Mel, what was in that bag?
That bag can write books. So what I actually had in the bag is my husband always packs me a jersey, a snack, a cold drink, my medicine. So, I mean, there's insects for days in Jamaica.
Yeah, yeah.
So I packed my repellents. There really was nothing in the bag but food and drinks. Because what I've realized in the housewives of Pretoria is they don't feed you. You go hungry. You go hungry for long times.
Yeah.
And so in Jamaica, when we drove, that was into the mountains. We drove 4 hours up the mountain.
In that kumbi.
Yes, the kumbi. And then we had to spend time there. And the food didn't come, guys. The food doesn't come for 3 hours at a time because if there's drama, it's lights, camera, action. No food. And so I'm that girl that will take out my snack and eat it.
Do you believe there was an intention to try and make Mel look like the evil character that you didn't know about that was being concocted behind your
Yeah.
back?
So I feel like people in life will always, something that they can't accomplish, they will jump on someone else.
I get you.
You know, use the other person to look like the angel. Where I'm not the type. You know, what you see is what you get. So whatever their intentions were, the public decided on that.
On that show, do you believe you still owe anyone an apology?
Mel Viljoen is a very unapologetic person.
Oh, yes, diva.
I am an open book and people can ask me any questions.
Yeah. As we near the end of our conversation,
Already?
it's nice, ne? It's very fun.
What is the time?
Time flies when you're here. I always want to know what's that one thing in life you know for sure and you're absolutely certain of?
The one thing that a person can be certain of is your own conviction, your morality, your mindset. So that is certainty. Certainty is how I operate in life, is how I'm going to operate in life. Mm-hmm. Look at my past, you will see my future.
Mel Viljoen, it's been an absolute privilege. I am pleasantly surprised and grateful that the person, as I said, that I sit across is not a representation of what has been given to us and barraged in the media for such a long time. I see the heart and I see
Thank
just
you.
a woman who stands in her power.
Yes.
You're standing in your strength and you're unapologetic about it.
Definitely.
And those who choose to not look at you like that, it's their choice. And I can also see that you don't care whether how they feel and how they perceive you.
Yeah, because I know my truth, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know how I am behind closed doors. And you should always be proud of the person that you are behind closed doors. You know, I think a lot of people have depression because who they're trying to portray and who they really are, it doesn't match. It's their avatar that doesn't match who they are. And that creates depression and anxiety. And what you see is what you get with me. I always look like this. I am always like this. So my avatar doesn't clash with who I am.
Mel Viljoen says who you are behind closed doors should be the person you are in front of cameras when you see people in real life. So be authentically who you are no matter the situation.
Yeah.
Let me try that again. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next episode.
Introducing the epitome of luxury living, Kalu Luxury Villas and Suites, your private sanctuary of opulence and elegance. Nestled amongst the lush, sun-kissed landscapes of Durban, KwaZulu-Natal, this Kalu Luxury Villa is a paradise of tranquility, offering breathtaking panoramic views of the neighborhood. Step into a world of refined luxury where every detail has been meticulously crafted to create an atmosphere of sophistication and comfort. This villa is kept within a gated and secure property for your peace of mind. The Kalu Villa is available for both short-term and long-term stays, making it the ideal location for your next vacation or special event. This villa boasts spacious living areas and floor-to-ceiling windows that flood the interior with natural light, making you feel at one with the surrounding beauty, paired with multiple terraces, an outdoor lounge, and a dining area. Live the dream, make memories, and indulge in the life you deserve. Contact us today to book your stay or to learn more about this exquisite property. Your oasis of opulence awaits.